Greetings viewers, Eric the Car Guy, also known as ETCG1 when I post videos on this channel. And hey, if it's your birthday, happy birthday! I got a story for you today, and it is about, well, let's call this mechanic's worst nightmare. And I'm sure, well, those of you that are in the mechanical profession have run into things that, well, have made you feel not so good. And I'm about to recount to you a story that happened, well, a few weeks ago now. And that was, well, if I back up to the beginning, a friend of mine, an old friend of mine from Pittsburgh, reached out to me via email, and we started having a conversation and, you know, just sort of getting caught up. And this friend goes back, almost 25 years. Well, it turns out her health isn't so great. In fact, she has to go for a lot of treatments. Some of those treatments are kind of painful, and she has to drive from Pittsburgh to Cleveland in order to do that on occasion. During the course of our conversation, she had a car accident and her car got totaled, and she was on the lookout for a vehicle. And I'm thinking to myself, I am Eric the Car Guy, right? So why don't I try to help? To shorten the story, she ended up getting in touch with that friend of mine that bought that 2002 RL that I had in the shop a couple of years back. They discussed it, they came to a price, and it turns out that she was going to drive out here to Cincinnati, pick up the car, drive it back to Pittsburgh, and life would be good. This was all going down before I went to Jekyll Island, so I was already stressing about my long trip in the Fairmont and trying to get the Fairmont ready and prepared for this whole trip. But I managed to find space in the schedule to bring that RL in to get a look at it before send her all the way back to Pittsburgh in it. And I did find some things, and one of the things I found was a massive oil leak. Massive oil leak coming out of the valve covers, leaking on the exhaust, everything. I mean, it was bad. It was really bad. In fact, I made a video about it, a link now. It's down in the description. There were a few other minor things. I had a rear caliper that was bad, and you know, I took it out, I drove it, and my friend, after he got the car, he put brand new Michelins on it. So, I mean, the thing was driving and riding right, although it had a few lights on. You might remember the video I did about him going to the dealership to get the seatbelt buckles replaced, because those are under lifetime warranty, and they told him they were going to charge him a diagnostic fee and all that. We're not going to get into that now. Anyway, so I finished the valve cover gaskets, I finished the brake work and everything. I took it out for a test drive just up and down the street just to make sure everything was cool. Everything felt cool, because, I mean, this is my friend's car. If anything was wrong with it, I would have heard about it. And like I said, I fixed all the things that I believed were wrong with it. Anyway, she comes out here, picks it up, goes to drive back to Pittsburgh, and she's really happy with the car and everything. And well, she hadn't been gone but maybe 15, 20 minutes, and all of a sudden I get a text saying the car is overheating. And I'm like, what? I mean, never saw this problem before. I mean, it's checked and topped off the coolant. You know, I really tried to look the thing over, tried to take care of her. Well, she was concerned, so I came back to the shop. This is getting later at night. I came back to the shop and looked at it, and I looked at the temperature gauge, and it's bam, right in the middle, like exactly where it's supposed to be. And I said, so did it get cooler? And she's like, no, I was driving and there was smoke, and I opened up the hood, there's a bunch of smoke. I was like, well, what did the temperature gauge say? Well, I didn't look at the temperature gauge. So she assumed because there was smoke that it was overheating. Well, in turn, what it was, this was my bad, it was still the oil and all the crap on the engine that was burning off of the exhaust is what it was. And I didn't take it on a long enough test drive. So that's on me. But it wasn't overheating. But that was like the beginning of my worst nightmare, because, you know, I'm trying to do right by this girl. I'm trying to put her in a vehicle, because she's always driven crap, always. And I figured if she's in an Acura RL, she's in a good place. Properly maintained, that car is a good car. So the next day, I'm trying to get a report, you know, okay, she got back to Pittsburgh, everything's good. And, you know, I think if she was happy, I would have heard something right away, and I didn't. Well, apparently, now the car is not starting. And apparently the key wasn't turning in the ignition. These are things that I have not heard of from my friend that owned the car or experienced myself. None of this is all coming completely out of the blue, and this is the part that's my worst nightmare. My worst nightmare is to think I've done a good job, and then I send somebody down the road and I find out they're not happy, or they're just, and I'll be honest, if it weren't for bad luck, this girl wouldn't have any. I'm serious when I say that, and I feel bad for her and all that, and I'm trying to do right by her. This is what made this so difficult for me, is that I was trying to, put her in a vehicle that I felt was going to be a good vehicle that she wouldn't have to worry about for a good long time. She could just drive it, put gas in it, change the oil. Turns out that wasn't necessarily the case. So she had to go to one of those treatments I mentioned in Cleveland, and she didn't have time to mess with it or whatever, so she dropped it off at the Honda dealer, got in a rental car and drove to Cleveland. And I'm like, no. I asked her to take it to my friend Bob Matthews, Important Domestic Auto Repair, whom I used to work for. My first job as a professional mechanic was with him. Learned a lot of stuff from him. Trust the guy. He's still in business there in Pittsburgh now. So I asked her to take it to him, but he said he couldn't get to it till Thursday. And that wasn't good enough for her, so she dropped it off at the Honda dealership. Well, Honda dealer told her that it was a bad starter. And I'm just thinking to myself, I never experienced anything as far as starting. But what I did do, one of the things that was wrong with that car, if you might recall, is the steering wheel controls, the electronic things making it go up, down. Well, I took some of the parts out of the white RL that I have out there, and I installed them, or went to install them in her car. Well, it turns out it wasn't the motors that were bad, it was the gears that had broken on the mechanism that makes the steering wheel move around. So what I did when she got here is I manually moved the steering wheel into a position that was good for her, and I said, it's going to be in this position. This is where it's going to be. I had to get up underneath the dash to do that, and I wondered, maybe I might have pulled a wire or something like that while I was in there. Ignition switch is right there, all that stuff is right there with the steering column, and I was in it. And I could have inadvertently done something, because like I said, none of this stuff has ever come up before. So I slept on it, and I've gotten donations to Fixing It Forward, and right now Fixing It Forward donations are just sitting in the bank account, about $8,000. And it's just sitting, I'm not touching it. To me, that's Fixing It Forward's money, and it's gonna go to Fixing It Forward stuff. And I thought, well, if ever there was a need in a situation like this, that I was gonna pull the trigger, this is what I did. I called up the Honda dealership and paid her bill with Fixing It Forward money, and it was only a diagnostic fee of about $50. I called my friend Bob Matthews, and I said, hey man, can you help me out? I would love for you to take a look at this car, because the starter replacement from Honda was $800. And I said, I'd like you to look at this car. I told him what I did, and the steering column, all that, just make sure that it's a starter, because I have done starters on those cars, but it's rare. I haven't done a lot of them. Not to say they don't go bad, and also they're not the easiest things in the world to get to on those cars. That being said, I asked if he could help out. He got the tow, had it towed to his shop. This is all happening while she's in Cleveland getting her medical treatments. And he looked it over, he says, yeah, it's a starter, we gotta replace it. And I'm looking up book time, it's 5 hours. I'm like, I know dude, it's not exactly the best thing, but trust you, do what you gotta do and bill me. By the time all was said and done, towed, truck and everything, it was $600. Once again, paid for that with Fixing It Forward money. So I want to thank those of you that donated to Fixing It Forward, and I know this was a quote-unquote friend of mine, but I think this situation qualifies because she is the kind of person that I'm looking to help. And I'm looking to get back into doing more Fixing It Forward stuff directly, rather than just paying someone else's bill far away to cover my own butt. I wasn't, because like I said, none of these symptoms, none of these issues manifested before the car left. And I looked it over, I really looked it over, because like I said, I wanted to take care of her. I wanted her to get in the car, I wanted her to be so impressed. She's like, oh Eric, you're my hero. That's what we want, right? But it didn't work out that way. And life doesn't always work out that way. But as far as my worst nightmare as a mechanic, it's thinking I've done a good job, thinking I've done the right thing, and have the customer see it completely differently. And part of it was on her, because obviously she was a bit skeptical about the car, a bit skeptical about the deal, things being too good to be true, that kind of thing. That was behind the whole overheat thing. She didn't even look at the temperature gauge. She just saw smoke come out from under the hood. Once again, that's back on me for not driving it for long enough to get that stuff burned off. Haven't heard anything about that since, because like I said, I fixed that major oil leak in those valve cover gaskets. But I wanted to share that with you, and I also want to put back to you, like, okay, well, first of all, I'm kind of curious as to what you think about using Fixing It Forward money in this situation. And it's not something I intend to do as a regular thing. I would like to use that money to buy the parts or vehicles or whatever that I can put into the hands of people that, like her, that need vehicles. That's where I'd like to be with it. And also, as technicians, mechanics, whatever, I mean, what has been your worst nightmare? What has happened to you during the course of your career, whatever, that you have run into that's an issue? I'd love to hear your stories. If you have automotive questions, ericthecarguy.com, link down in the description. Additional information and videos that are related to this, link down in the description. Be safe, have fun, stay dirty. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you next time. I know I will. I know I'll see you next time.